Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today on CNI and utility scale energy storage system. My name is Nihal Kananari. I'm working as a product manager in Solarity. We are really excited to have you here. We're going to be mainly talking about the battery energy storage system markets, applications, regulatory environment in the markets which we operate. So before moving ahead, I would like to introduce a little bit information about Solarity, our story. Many of you guys already know about our company, but there are some new attendees as well. So it will be better to have introduction first. So we've been found back in 2009 as an EPC installer in Czech Republic. But by 2011, we had a transition to a EPC to a distribution. And by 2022, 20, we were recognized as an international distributor. We were active in more than 40 markets, also in 4 different continents, and we managed to deliver PV components of more than 2 gigawatt, and almost 70 plus employees are currently working for Solarity, and there are 9 offices all over the world. The offices are located in Prague, Budapest, Dubai, Kyiv, Amman, Warsaw, Casablanca, Bogota, Panama, etc. And compared to the other distributor, we give some added value to our client. For example, we have a technical department who just focus on helping the client with their selection of modules, inverters, batteries, mounting structures, etc. So even if you have any questions regarding any of the electrical components, you could contact us and we'll be able to address you and also give you first level support. And also we provide trainings for our client. So it could be in person or webinars, etc. So they have detailed information about the product even before they purchase it. And also the financing, we work with a lot of big banks. It could be, we provide like a flexible payment options. It could be factoring, letter of credit, etc. And obviously the next would be the logistic. We have a dedicated team in all over the offices, like the markets which we operate for the logistics. So we make sure to deliver the product to the right location and on time as well. And we do have loyalty programs, like a partner program for our customers who've been working with us for a long years. So you'll be able to find some details about that program in our website. And the next is the local support. So the markets which we operate, we do have a locally employed representative there. So they have enough information about the local regulations and they can come to the site and support with their installation and during the purchase of the product itself. The next obviously is the basically our other part, connecting EPC and installers, assisting with the commissioning, delivering on time, and also we provide our own product testing as well. We collaborate with technical universities and like make sure that the product has standard quality as well. Now I will move to the solution delivery process. I wouldn't want to take more of the time. I just wanted to have a short or brief intro about how we're gonna be, let's say, going through when we receive any inquiry regarding the BESS. So for example, the initial contact, we would like to understand what kind of energy needs or the application the client would require. Based on that, assessing their budget or point of interconnection, we will recommend the optimal solution for them. And then, yeah, so the next part would be that once we send you the preliminary offer and everything, we could offer the site consultation, assess the substation, transformer, foundation requirement, the grid integration, safety compliance, etc. So we make sure that everything is on the place that before even you make the let's say final purchase or everything, you do have all the technical details before choosing the product itself. So we will make sure that everything is coordinated properly in order to have a project's execution on time and everything is going so smoothly as well. Regarding the installation and commissioning, we make sure that to work with the manufacturer, and we do have the technical support team and also the client's EPC team. If in case if it's on the place, we'll make sure to collaborate everything on smoothly as well on that part. And then after the installation, as you know, the batteries, the O&M part is really important. So we make sure we train our client about the preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance and what are the things don'ts and do's in order to get the maximum revenue out of that battery systems. So I would like to conclude my session. So today the main speakers will be, I'm honored to welcome Jakub Elias. He's the country manager for the Czech Republic region. He'll be mainly talking about the PV roadmap on Jingo. And then the main speaker will be Lorenzo. He is the sales manager in the Europe for the battery energy storage system. He'll be talking about some key regulations and the applications and how it could be utilized for some of your projects as well. And towards the end of the session, there will be a Q&A. So please feel free to ask some questions in the chat, and we'll make sure to address them individually so that everything is clear in the end. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this session. And Yakub will be presenting you shortly with all the information.
Hello, everybody. Thank you to Nihal for introduction. Thank you for your attention attending to this webinar. I would like to briefly tell you about Jinko Solar. And after me, as Nihal mentioned, there will be the main topic of the webinar, ESS system from Jinko Solar, who is responsible, my colleague Lorenzo. So let me start the presentation. Hopefully you can see the sharing on the screen. If not, please please tell me. Let's start. Jinko, we currently have a complete energy solution which includes PV modules and a battery system. Jinko Solar in numbers. Currently, Jinko Solar is #1 module shipment producer and delivered. We so far from the beginning of Jinko, we delivered 280 gigawatts of solar modules. We have around 18% of market share around the world. We have 27 records in effectivity of our energy module cells, and we have 100 plus gigawatts of N-type module manufacturing capacity. Most important figures for Jinko. We are world's leading manufacturer of PV modules, and the latest years also battery energy storage systems. Jinko Solar was established in 2006. Jinko Solar is listed on a New York Stock Exchange. Most important for us is that we are R&D oriented. We have a lot of panels, patent, and this including N-type patent for N-type cell module, and we are industry leader in this type of modules. Last year we were #1 in volume delivered around the world. We had approximately 80 gigawatt peak. We have 14 production factories, not only mainland China, but also in Malaysia, Vietnam, and USA. Currently, one manufacturing premises in Saudi Arabia is under construction. And we have two vertically integrated super factories, which means that beside the end product of module, we are producing also cells, wafers, and ingots in these factories. And to go for BSS, we have more than 1 gigawatt hour installed around the world. You can see a map here of JinkoSolar premises. As I mentioned, not only in China, but also in Malaysia, Vietnam, Saudi Arabia under construction, and in Florida in USA. We have R&D centers around the world in Malaysia, in Singapore, and so on. We are vertically integrated company, which means that beside modules, we also manufacturing cells, wafers, and ingots. Only what JinkoSolar is buying is raw material silicon. This allows us to choose the first class components, and we have control over the whole process of manufacturing. These are records in cell efficiency. You can see currently in laboratory conditions, we have reached 26.89% of efficiency of our PV module cell. And you also can see the future of PV modules, which is N-type tandem cell, currently under research and development. And you can see currently we have 33.24% of efficiency of this tandem cell in laboratory conditions. As I mentioned, JinkoSolar is R&D oriented. In compared to our competitors, we are one of the leader in number of patents. Most of the patents are in TOPCon technology, but we also have back contact patents, tandem cell patents, and battery energy storage patents. We go to the manufacturing. JinkoSolar is a fully smart manufacturer, combining Industry 4.0 and Internet of Things. And last but not least, I would like to tell you about ESG accomplishment, as ESG is currently getting into the consideration of the buyers. We have outstanding performance in ESG in compared to other manufacturers of PV modules and in general Chinese companies. We have B climate rating. We have silver medal in EcoVadis, which is sustainability rating. We have triple B MSCI ESG rating. We have triple A bankability. This is very important for us, but also for our customers in these turbulent times. We we keep our outstanding performance AAA in bankability. Also, on the beginning of this year, we keep AAA. This can be good sign for customers that with JinkoSolar you have long-term partnership with our company, and of course tier one manufacturer in the Bloomberg rating. What is also important in ESG in general, we are in the strong in footprint. We are in ER 100 and EP 100. We signed to this to these together with 50 another great worldwide companies. We are fully traceable. When to go to traceability, we are able to provide a traceability program for our products. Also, we are strong in holding much for attention, and if you will have another any questions in the end of the webinar, I will be here. And now I would take a word to my colleague Lorenzo, who will tell you about battery energy storage system of JinkoSolar.
Thank you, Jacob, for the introduction. Good morning to everyone. My name is Lorenzo Baumgarten. I'm a best sales manager for energy storage system in Jinko for the European market. Let me share with you the presentation that I arranged it. Okay, just a moment. No. Sorry, I cannot select properly. Okay. Okay, now you should see my my presentation. So just let me introduce.
We can see it.
You cannot see it?
We can.
Okay, let me try again.
Now,
can
yes.
you see it now?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, very good. Okay, so just a few introduction, brief introduction about this presentation. I will give you some more information about Jinko solution for BESS, then some let's say snapshot about the market landscape for storage, and focusing on the opportunities, challenges of opportunities that we have in Europe, especially for the Eastern Europe market, and some case study. So as Jacob showed you before, Jinko in the previous reached several targets in terms of achievement, patents, prices. I would like to share with you the latest for BESS relating to the bankability. So, you know, bankability is very important to secure from the financial point of view your business. Jinko also for the storage division is a tier 1 manufacturer with a production site that has been let's say assessed completely by third-party company, like in this case UL, that have a full let's say assessment of our production, releasing a certification about the bankability. We are strongly committed to storage system, creating a new division which is now about 500 person. 30 of that are located in Europe. In Europe, we can provide you the how can I say, a full support for any kind of project, C&I and utility scale, from the pre-sales, I mean, from the design point of view, up to the after sales and maintenance if needed, with the product management team to fulfill basically the most demanding request from the market. About the factory, I mean, we are manufacturer. We have our own factory, which is in China, 1 hour and a half from Shanghai, well located from the logistic point of view, fully automatized, with production capability of nowadays 12 gigawatt-hour cell per year. But it's planned to be increased based on the, let's say, the market overview, which for the storage seems to boom in the next couple of years. So what about the landscape? Globally speaking, the storage installation at worldwide level for 2024 was about 155 gigawatt hour, and the estimation for this year is almost 205. But what is important is also the outlook in the medium and long term, that based on the major analysts say that this value, this current value, will be 3 or 4 times more in a 5 years. So this is just to give you an idea of the size of the potentiality of storage market. And Europe, let's say Europe is expected to have more than 30 gigawatts in this year. So based on several analysts and Business Research Institute, 2026 will be a crucial year for BESS system. Main factors that will drive this transition are related to the National Energy and Climate Plan, NECP, which is applied from many countries, and that of course will give a big prompt to the utility scale project. This is because TSO shall set a specific target to have let's say production from non-fossil sources. Then we have electricity market reform. Of course, country by country, the situation is different, but the path is for sure to have a dynamic tariff. A dynamic tariff means different prices across the day. This will improve the presence of storage for mainly the arbitrage, for arbitrage purpose. Then battery passport is also let's say a sort of sort of license that will be mandatory for best manufacturer to be introduced within a couple of years for most of, let's say, for all the battery for C&I and utility scale application. This will give improvement in the technology because let's say will be a main driver for the manufacturer to have let's say to meet clearly this requirement. From our point of view, I mean, as Jakub already introduced, we are working on full traceability of the product, not only for the PV modules, but of course also for storage system. That is I'm gonna say the first step to fulfill with this obligation. And then, of course, there are national storage target, which is let's say defined by single government, and that have the possibility to apply for subsidy and the incentives. Let's go on. So this is just to resume a bit which are the main country across Europe with the supporting scheme. So you can see here in red the most I mean the country where these funds are bigger in absolute value. Focus on let's say the key market in the Eastern Europe country. Let's say this chart summarize best regulatory comparison among several Eastern Europe countries based on funding sources and incentives. Most of funding, as you can see, comes from NRRP. I mean the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. For instance, Romania, Poland, Bulgaria are the country that most utilized these kind of funds. A modernization fund is also applied all over most of Eastern Europe country, and Green Deal support. And let's say all these kind of funds will be applied for both utility and C&I. Another important focus is on the CFD. I mean the contract for difference that are tools that start to be used. Let's say already used in mature country, but that are start also to be used in emerging countries, and this can be interested to have let's say a sort of minimization of the risk when using a commodity which has higher fluctuation as the energy price is. So as you can see, there is a lot of interest to provide the financial support from many countries, and with a huge amount in some circumstances. So this is let's say another way to see subsidies depending on the application mapped across different countries. Every country has its own guideline set by regulatory bodies, which are, let's say, mainly under revision, we have to say. So what happened? Based on this framework, this situation, we have challenges and opportunities relevant to BESS. Main challenges is that there are barriers from regulatory bodies. I mean, lack of unified policies, delay in update of the laws that sometimes are incomplete or need to be does not consider several aspects, let's say. So there is a regulatory uncertainties that of course cause project delays. Then delays due to the permitting, especially for a big project. Permitting is it can be a long path that can last also years. That is this is really a big constraint. That we have a grid infrastructure limitation. For example, aging grid or grid congestion, grid instability, and limitation in the transmission line or in the distribution network. Then there is a third set of issues that can be arised from the financial point of view when there is a lack of long-term incentives, because of course BESS as a renewable energy sector in general is a long-term investment, and then that needs long-term incentives. So the lack of this structure, if the incentives or the subsidies are not properly set on a long-term basis, this can create problems in the business model of the investor. And of course, again, let's say delay due to the processes grants can also be can impact the investor as additional financial risk. On the other end, we have opportunity given by the fact that the renewable energy sector is growing, can I say, exponentially year by year. We need to achieve energy security and independence, and storage system helps in this. We need, of course, to have stable grids and reliable grids, and storage. Basically, one of the main application is to provide stability to the grid, both for ancillary, let's say, services, but both for, let's say, energy trading. I mean, stability in terms of keeping the price of the energy on a preset value. So which are the solution to do this? Let's have a look first at the main application. So storage can be used from the meter or behind the meter. From the meter, we have the typical application for, let's say, power side, or like to minimize the energy curtailment, or to apply for peak shaving and stabilizing the power fluctuation. Can be used for TSO, for the transmission, for the grid-side transmission. In which way? With the upgrade of the network, let's say, without, I mean, deferring the transmission upgrade. I mean, storage can be used when the transmission line are overcharged, and an upgrading of that will be very, very expensive. So locating the storage in let's say, close to the bottleneck can support and avoid this issue. Then we have, of course, the same apply to the distribution network, and behind the meter, the typical application are relevant to the self-consumption, to the backup of energy, energy trading, or arbitrage. How can, let's say, Jinko support? Jinko has a wide, extensive portfolio, including residential product, but let's say focus mainly on C&I and utility scale. What we propose for the C&I application is what we call SunGiga. SunGiga, it's only one system. So it means that has both DC part and DC AC conversion. So the DC part are 5 pack reaching a 215 kilowatt-hour capacity with PCS with 100 kilowatt output power at 400 volt. It's IP54, so can be used in outdoor environment up to C5 corrosion grade, which is the highest grade applicable for this kind of, let's say, enclosure. And it's liquid cool. This is let's say, the last bulletin point in this chart, but probably is the most important, because the safety system is one of the most important topic for BESS system. And the solution that Jinko adopted is different, I mean, several safety layers. We have a thermal management system based liquid cooling system to maintain a temperature, let's say, around 25 degrees, which is the optimum to maximize the energy production. Because, I mean, the most dangerous aspect for a battery system is the thermal drift. So once we keep the temperature under control, we can really extend the lifetime of the system up to many years. The coolant which is used is a solution, the glycol solution, 50% glycol, 50 water, which is one of the most optimized for this kind of application. Then, of course, a series of pipeline in order to reach each single module in the most critical part. Then we have automatic fire alarm system, which is based mainly on detectors, I mean, temperature detector, gas detector, and smoke detectors. Of course, there are all these parameters are checked by the EMS, and the EMS then manage the activation of the fire extinguishing system in the proper way. Fire extinguishing system, which is let's say, based on aerosol spraying. Basically, when the smoke and the temperature sensor reach the threshold value, there is aerosol released across the rack, and and then of course all the situation can be kept under control by the personnel who is let's say is activated by VMS with the proper alarm and warning during the let's say the activation of the detector itself. Then okay. Then let's have a look about Santhera. Santhera is the product that we use for utility scale project. The first generation of Santhera used a 280 ampere hour cell, and it was a 3.44 megawatt hour system. What we use now is generation 2, which is based on 314 ampere hour cell. And this allow us to reach in the same footprint 5 megawatt hour system. The evolution, so this is what we are currently using now. The evolution of Santhera G2 that will be released at the end of the year is version which has let's say same cell but with the extended lifetime, so passing from the 8,000-10,000 cycles to 12,000-15,000. And then new generation that is under let's say engineering, it's under developing, sorry, right now would be the Santhera G3 using a high density cell, and this product in the roadmap is planned to be available from the second half of next year. So with Santhera G2, I mean the 5 megawatt hour container, we have let's say higher density than in the previous solution. It's of course liquid cool, in this case IP55. One important thing is that we will reach quite low let's say noise level, below the 75 dB, and the layout, I mean, since the the access of the container is only on one front side, the container can be coupled back to back in order to reduce the overall layout of the plant. So resuming, this will give us the possibility passing from the what we call generation 1 to generation 2 to improve the number of cycle, passing from 7,000 to 8,000, and in let's say end of the year also exceeding this value. And we increase basically the throughput, the RTE, from 92 to 94%. This mainly due to the fact that we had much more efficient auxiliary services consumption, so that was a reduce of most of the 20%, give us the possibility to, on the other end, to improve the RT. So what about case study? We started to have installation in Europe basically since let's say last quarter of last year. Jinko has an installed base worldwide of more than 1 gigawatt hour. In Europe, we started operation, let's say quite recently, but we have secured order for almost 1 gigawatt hour. These are typical applications that we have across Europe. For example, in Netherlands, this is St. Giga with 5 units, 1 set as master and 4 slave. This is coupled with existing PV using our own EMS, which is able to be interfaced with let's say other vendor PV inverter or EV charger or any other device which support Modbus protocol. And in this case, the application was self-consumption and energy trading. Then we have another let's say application, another installation in France, similar, I mean, same number of St. Giga, but different application. So in addition to self-consumption, the customer want to have a peak shaving and time shifting. These are, how can I say, typical services that the EMS can support with the proper configuration. Another important, let's say, installation this time in Spain. Important because we can, with the St. Giga itself, providing grid supporting services and energy trading. So this is just for your let's say for your information. Then another one in a more harsh environment in Finland. In this case, I mean, the customer required self-consumption and peak shaving only. We have many other installation already operative right now in Romania, in Bulgaria. We are going to have it also in Poland. We have in others, I mean, in Italy. It's possible, of course, to visit, to have a site visit with, let's say, a proper green light from the end user. But in case we are open, of course, to show from live our plant. Okay, then for utility scale, I just add a couple of slides as typical references. This plant was applied in China, and it was used mainly for frequency regulation. So grid supporting services. Then we have let's say the first that was the first reference with the European customer, because even if not located in Europe, because Tahiti is a French territories, so we work with Manasolar is a French EPC. They also applied let's say another different application, mainly agrivoltaic. So this plant was operative since 6 months ago. We are now installing utility scale products and projects in Germany, Hungary, Romania, and Greece. I don't have, let's say, picture with me because are currently under installation. But of course, also for the utility scale project, we are available in case you are interested to have a site visit. Then, in terms of certification achieved for the St. Giga and for the Santerra as well, we'll show you later. We applied for the main standard, both IEC and UL. This gives us the possibility to have the grid code compatibility with most of the European country. These are the, let's say, these are the country where we already have installation, I mean, product working, or let's say already closed order, and we are going to install it. Of course, the countries that are not included here, the grid code can be achieved after, let's say, subscription or following the procedure of the local with the local agency. But this is just, I mean, just to inform you about the current status, but based on the previous certification in place, of course, we are able to apply for different grid code. For let's say for Santerra G2, we apply again with the main IEC and the UL standard for electrical part and safety. The grid code compatibility in this case is demanded to the PCS manufacturer. What we propose are solution, including our storage system with third-party vendor PCS, mainly, I mean, main European vendor. We are compatible with SMA, with Ingeteam, with Power Electronic, and they have the proper grid code to be installed anywhere. I didn't mention, but I'm doing it right now. Solarity, of course, is our service partner. So Solarity is involved in the basically not only in the sales as our let's say channel partner, but also in providing services like commissioning and in case let's say first level of support, after sales support. So this is let's say a strategic partnership that we started. So this is my presentation. Hope that everything was clear, even if I did it in a rush. We have, I think, now some times for question and answer, or in any case, I think Nihal, you can collect if coming in a different time. Any questions shall arise. But if you have any question, just let me know. Okay, share the presentation. I think yes, Solarity, I suppose can share to you. Is it possible to purchase less than? Okay, 250 kilowatt hour. There are 5 pack in series. Since they are in series, it's not possible to have less pack, because otherwise the voltage level will be lower and will not match with the PCS. So the minimum size for San Giga is 215 kilowatt hour. By the way, that is the nominal capacity. The usable is something less, because you know there is DOD to take into account. So finally, the usable, it's about 190 to 193 kilowatt hour. So the capacity is not, I mean, it's fixed. Of course, it can be composed in parallel with other unit. What we can change is the power, is the output power. It's a 100 kilowatt, but can be reduced by software limitation. Do you supply small residential battery for Europe? Yes. It was not, can I say, the scope of this presentation, but we we also have a residential battery. You can refer to Nihal for that. I will put him in contact with the proper person because it's not me directly that dealing with that. How many spare batteries should I have per container? Spares. Okay, this is a good, let's say, good question. Spare battery depends because of course, I mean, if you have a strict commitment, I don't know if you are the end user or not. If you have a strict commitment with end user, you need to keep a certain level of spare, keeping to account that spare, I mean, battery pack should be recharged each 6 months. So I have to be consider this fact. We as a Jinko, we have some buffer stock for battery, so that shall be discussed case by case. With which inverter manufacturer you already have a working system in place? If we are talking about utility scale, we have with SMA, German manufacturer, Ingeteam, Spanish manufacturer, Power Electronic, Spanish manufacturer in Europe. Then in China, they use also Chinese brand manufacturer like NR, Kewa, but in Europe we prefer to rely on European manufacturer for the PCS for a matter of support, because they are based in Europe. If something wrong happen, they are on site very quickly, because anyway we as Jinko are responsible for the overall package. Is on-site support also possible for smaller projects like yes, of course, on-site support is possible. For the on-site support, let's say Solarity shall give you shall give you a reply about it as our, let's say, service partner. Duration of the product warranty. Okay, for the SunGiga is 5 years for the product and 10 years for the performance warranty. 5 years of the product can be extended up to 10. For Santera it's 5 years the product, 5 years the performance, extendable up to 20. With which investor does your ESS are compatible? What you mean? I mean, there is no compatibility with the investor. Maybe I misunderstood the question. How many year cycle warranty do you offer? Okay, the performance warranties is let's say is 10 years or 6,000 cycle for SunGiga, or 8,000 cycle for Santera. Do we have to have a certification to make the installation and commissioning? Yes. Okay, no, installation, let's say, is not part of our scope of supply, but we rely on Solarity. So let's say Solarity will take care about installation and commissioning. Inverter. Okay. Yes. So I already said for Santera. For Santera, we are compatible with Ingeteam, Power Electronic, and SMA. For SunGiga, we have our embedded PCS. If the customer wants to use their own PCS, we can provide just the DC, just the rack some giga with the DC, let's say, block, and then you can use, let's say, any other PCS, because sometimes, I mean, our inverter is 400 volt. Sometimes customer ask for 690 volt, 800 volt, because they already have a transformer. In that case, we don't have the PCS, but you can use, let's say, another PCS if compatible in terms of electrical parameters. We can have a quick check about it, but then you need to take care about the communication among the BMS of the battery and the EMS of the PV. So it's something that needed to be evaluated, but we provide all the information to do it. What about France installation and commissioning? Okay, yes, because Solarity does not work in France. I see. Okay, installation is not scope of supply, is not scope of work of Jinko, so we don't take care, we don't provide installation. So this is demanded to our customer. We provide commissioning, okay, or directly, I mean, with our internal resource, or with service partner. Specifically for France, we are, how can I say, evaluating some service partner, and they will be officialized. They will be soon. Which SMA inverters? No, sorry. SMA is for Santera. I mean, for Santera, so the container, we provide SMA Ingetimor Power Electronic. With the San Giga, we have our own PCS, or we just sell the DC, and you should integrate with a third-party inverter. Okay. The last question. Photovoltaic inverter compatibility. If our system is compatible with Huawei, Sungrow, Grow, we can provide all-in-one solution, San Giga with our PCS. Then, if you have PV inverter from Huawei, Sungrow, Growatt, we couple, we have AC coupling system, and our EMS can be configured to work with this vendor once they provide us Modbus protocol. If they provide Modbus protocol, we can assure the interoperability. This has anyway a sort of developing cost to check everything. So probably there is some up cost to evaluate if the product is already in our database, because for the EMS we have a third party supplier based in Europe, so we need to double check if it's already in their database. Okay. Okay, but okay. For the price of warranty extension, it will be through Solarity. What about for emerging markets? What about what? Sorry, please re-elaborate. I don't understand what you mean. Then, how long does it take? Okay. I mean, I explain very quickly. The compatibility process is that we need to verify, to match match basically the register map of our battery with the register map of the inverter manufacturer. It's something that takes, let's say, 1 week, 2 weeks, but since it's demanded to our EMS supplier, we need to double check with them about their scheduling. Okay, so I would say around a month. No, for the EMS, EMS is European. It's a European manufacturer. So let's say all the information, all the data that are collected for the EMS are in a server based in Europe. Okay, I don't see any other question at the moment. Yes, Nihal.
Yeah, thank you, Lorenzo, for the great presentation. I think due to the time limitation, we will address rest of the questions individually. So please make sure to send us those questions, and also let's talk about some of your project. We are here to help. Like I mentioned, like Lorenzo has mentioned, BSS is pretty unique. Like there is no like a standard solution based on your applications, which revenue stream you are opting it for. We could tailor the solution. We will provide the full consultation from the very beginning towards the end of the project itself, commissioning and O&M support as well. So yeah, thank you so much for everyone attending the sessions. Hope it was informative. And thank you so much, Lorenzo and Jakub, for giving such a great presentation about Jinko products. And yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, we will be waiting for your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you to all. Bye. Bye-bye.